So the first one on the left, we have this nice road, big concrete barrier, and this barrier is our line of resistance. No matter how hard we try, unless you're going to flip right over it, this is going to be a barrier that you cannot physically cross on the road. You have full access to drive on either side of the lane that you're in. You can move back and forth, maybe even go to the next lane. If there's a barrier on the other side, you've got yourself a confined range in which you can drive your car. We're looking over here at the right, a nice picture of someone bumper bowling. If you haven't bumper bowled before, basically it's a little barrier that stops your ball from going in the gutter. You can roll that ball. You have a vague idea of which direction it's going to go. You don't know what pins you're going to go hit, but you can set a target, you can throw your ball, and you know that you've got an area of support and resistance, those two barriers, to act as a physical wall, keeping your ball contained. Now use that idea. Imagine a trend that we talked about before with the upper and lower trend line. Your ball is the price, and you know that you're going to be contained inside these two barriers. You can plan accordingly and try to make a good target, either a price point or a pin, knowing you can rely on those two areas of support and resistance. That's the key here, and that's how support and resistance can work. One more analogy for you, a bouncing ball. Now, if you have seen a descending triangle before, that is basically what we're looking at. We see a nice ball dropping from its height, an initial bounce, a lower high on that bounce, a lower high on that bounce, and each subsequent bounce gets lower and lower and lower. But it doesn't matter that it keeps getting lower because we are on a table. We know that we can rely on the support of this table forever. It is there, it is solid, it has acted as support many, many, many times, and the only time that we need to be worried about our ball falling below the table is if we actually run out of space and our support falls away. In this case, the ball, or in the literal example, the price, is going to drop further. The price and the support are intertwined, and you need that support there in order to make successful trades. In this case, each subsequent bounce represents a possible trade. So you can see how support levels can be very, very key. Identifying them, being able to know that you can rely on them, and also recognizing when those support levels are gone is absolutely critical for planning good trades with technical analysis.